We're on. It's the Audible. Kim Bokamper, Joe Rose. It must be Friday if Joe Rose is here.
You got that right.
Joe Rose.
I call him your happy hour man.
Fresh off a trip to the Bahamas with the boys.
I missed you.
The Dan Marino weekend.
Had a great time, but
I had to bail out the last minute. I know I was disappointed.
You would have had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had a blast over there. Can't say enough about it.
And how was physically? How I talked to Sam Madison after. Sam said he was hurting now. Now I put hurting. You played a football game. You did some different things, and I'm going to assume, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could be completely off base, but I'm going to assume there was some cocktails being imbibed over there over the course of the weekend.
Every time you mention an event, there was a party next to it, right after.
Yeah.
And so nobody, or unless you had to sneak away to go to bed early, but yeah, if you're over there, come on, you're over at Atlantis and Nassau.
It's the best.
And it's alive at night.
Did you have a pina colada?
I drank just about everything.
But whenever I go over there, just for general purposes, I got to have a pina colada right off the bat, just to get into the tropical flavor.
I did not have one, but they had those fruit punch drinks.
Like Goombay Smash?
Yeah.
Planters Punch?
They had those.
A lot of rum in them?
A lot of rum.
Yeah, I got you.
And I had some other things.
Yeah.
And all the Bahamian beers.
Yeah.
Sands Light.
Sands Light now.
Sands Light
no
is
big.
Oh, they were Calic's number one, but Sands Light was a nice change up.
All right.
It was a good time.
Good. Had a chance to watch some OTAs today. Saw some good stuff out there. A couple days ago, the day we had the media, open the media.
Right.
Saw some good stuff out there. Saw some guys running around, and it's just good to see guys back in the field again.
I love that Adam Gase has got them not only competing, but wants them talking to each other, getting involved, making it fun. I love it. Bo, I even like some of the new things he's doing. You got to earn your decal.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of old school.
His press conference, someone asked him about how the rookies not wearing the logos in their helmet. He said, "Hey, look, it's just one of those things we're doing where guys. So we want guys to come in and earn it. I remember back in the day, it was always that way. You didn't until you made the team. You
had a naked helmet. You got a naked helmet with your name on the front. And that was it.
Yeah.
And you're one of a zillion
last
guys.
Week too. How come they don't wear their names in their helmets anymore?
These coaches are smarter than the old coaches.
Well, you know what? They spend more time with them during the off season, so you get to know these guys.
That's true too. Yeah.
With us, it was
once for off season.
With us, virtually every year that we played, we got our ass chewed out because we always lost our, because we didn't make the playoffs,
right?
Or we lost our last game.
Too early, right?
We lost our last game, so you got your ass chewed out. And I was like, I'll see you guys in May.
That's right.
So you didn't have all that time to get to know all the new guys and stuff, but.
I wouldn't read into it. So people, it's kind of, does it work? Listen, so far, everything Adam Gase has done has worked.
Yeah.
He thinks it out. He doesn't just randomly think in the middle of the night come up with something. He's got a game plan. He's sticking with it to build this team in, and he wants everybody competing. He doesn't want anybody getting comfortable no matter how many years or how much you make. Your job is you got to bring it.
Joe, I remember my rookie year, and I was a first-round pick. But I remember not having that logos on my helmet and thinking to myself, man, I got to get these logos. I got to, it meant something to you to get that helmet dressed up and get the logos on it.
I do agree with that.
So it's a little carrot out there for those guys, and it's not,
You're never worried as a first round pick coming in with Larry Gordon.
I knew I was going to get it, but I still felt like, hey, it was something I wanted to attain. I wanted to aspire to having that logo on my helmet,
And on top of that, the other guys know how good you are too. They want to see, are you a legit pick or are you
Well, I tell you what, so far, and from what we've been able to see, your boy Charles Harris, he is giving these guys fits.
How good's that?
Now, I know they're not in pads. But you talk about a guy getting off the ball quick, getting to the corner quick, and he's giving Tunsil a hard time. He's giving Juwan James a hard time. So look, again, you temper it by the fact that they don't have, they don't have pads on, and all it takes is that one punch from Laramie Tunsil right about on your shoulder to slow you down real quick. But so far so good. And I tell you, the other guy, I like Tankersley. I watch Tankersley out there. You know what I watch for? Great. I just look at guys and see how they carry themselves on the field. Are they a little standoffish? Are they aggressive? He looks like he just steps right on the field, and looks like he belongs out there.
I agree.
I mean, just looks like he belongs right out there doing what he's doing with no problem.
Who's played against the best competition over the last 2 years of this whole draft class? It's not even close.
Well, it's either got to be him or Raekwon McMillan.
Or Raekwon.
One of those two. They've been in national championship games.
I expect those two to play well in big games.
Very well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the other guy, I tell you, the other guy that, man, you talk about a stud out there, the kid McDonald, TJ McDonald. I mean,
making a lot of plays. We're not going to have him for 8 games, but he's making that second half of the year. Can't wait to get him.
But you look at him, and you look at what he does, and he's going to be able to practice throughout the OTAs, through training camp, playing the preseason games, then he's out for 8 weeks. Man, but you're thinking to yourself, man, 8 weeks in, getting this guy back with his legs underneath him, healthy, woo.
You're a little banged up, and you get that after the way the safety position was banged up last year and so many guys out. To know you've got him coming back, oh my gosh, for the second half.
He made an interception in the end zone the other day. Athletic, laid out for the ball, made it stretched out, made the catch. Yeah. It was nice to see. So it's good to see guys out. It's good to see what's going on out there. It's good to see the guys moving around.
Making plays without really knowing the system, too. That's what the young guys, Bo, you remember that first year. You're out there and you're learning a new system and you're thinking, you're not really reacting. And then you find out physically these guys are out making interceptions and spin moves for sacks. And they haven't been here but a week or two and they don't know the system, just doing it on athletic ability. It's pretty good.
And then the other thing I got to tell you, Joe, I'm sitting up there with the media guys and they're already, this team 8-8. They're already like, I go, bro, these guys have been out here for 3-4 days. You got guys out there that are the rookies that are they're just trying to figure out where they're going, and you're going to start evaluating these guys now.
The one better than that, far-fetched. The one better than that from the media was already worried about the offensive line, and I was like, man, we haven't put our pads on. Yeah. Some of the guys have been out. Let's give it a few months before we decide. September still. Yeah, we still got a few months before September gets here.
Exactly.
Before you decide what the team's going to be weak at. And, of course, we went through our defensive tackle stuff, going through Jordan Phillips and his whole thing and his weight. And I thought that's pretty interesting, Bo. He came pretty clean. I know you've already talked about this, but I thought it was interesting calling himself out. I got to play a lot better.
Yeah.
Year 3.
But I think a lot of that goes along with Adam Gase and the way he handles these guys, where he throws expectations out there. You need to do this. You need
accountable, man. Being accountable.
And look, he's Adam Gase, whether it's Jarvis Landry, whether it's Jordan Phillips, whether it's Ryan Tannehill, whether it's Devontae Parker, he's not afraid to go up to those guys and say, you need to start doing this better.
Yeah.
If you can't do it better, we'll find somebody else. He doesn't mind throwing that gauntlet down there.
It looks like, we go back to this with him. I sound like a broken record. I feel like Bo and I are always talking about this. His communication skills one-on-one with letting every guy knows, like, hey, not good enough last year. You got to show me more. Come on, this is your year to do it. You had some breakdowns. This is what you didn't do. So there are no secrets, Bo, on this team about where everybody stands with the coach.
I think he does a good job of following it up with, hey, let's put a plan together to get you there. Let's figure out some way for you to get there.
It's not a negative.
So you can play the best.
Turns it into a positive.
Let's find a way so that you're comfortable with what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You can play 100% and just let it go on the field. So it's his whole demeanor, his whole way of going about it. So far, he hasn't stubbed his toe along the way at all.
No, not a lick.
What do you say we take a few questions?
Let's do it.
At K-Beth 2001, what's been the best and the worst at OTAs so far? We've only seen a couple practices out there. I think the best has certainly been Charles Harris for what he's been doing.
Great.
He hasn't shown you anything to lead you to believe that he shouldn't have been the guy that the first player they picked in the draft.
Spin move as a rookie, and he's got this ridiculous spin move. You can't wait for preseason to see how good this move is, along with his speed move. His first step's legit. We heard about it coming out. It's legit.
And the worst of OTAs so far. I'm going to tell you this, Joe. I was listening to you this morning. I was running back and forth doing stuff. I was listening to you this morning, and your boy Zach, he got a man crush on our boy Isaac Asiata.
Yeah,
he might want to hold off on that a little bit.
Yeah,
he might want to reevaluate that and wait and see, because he struggled. He's been struggling a little bit out there. And
is it mostly mental with him?
No,
or do you think it's physical?
I think from the standpoint, he needs to figure out how to get a little lower, and he needs to get a little more upper body strength, because guys are bending him back out there. And I talked to him. They had a little rookie thing over at the restaurant the other day, and I had a chance to talk to him. I said, "How's it going?" He goes, "Man, I've been struggling. I've been having a hard time." So he knows he knows he's got work to get it. But look, that's all stuff. He's still got time to get out there and get caught. He knows what the challenge is now. He's got to figure out a way to overcome that.
He's a great interview.
Oh, he's a good kid.
Oh, my gosh. Kid. Great guy. You end up rooting for.
Yeah.
Says all the right things, man, and you're right. And Bo, he's going to get it from day one like nobody's business.
Well, look.
He's facing a couple of dudes, one that's been called out and the other's a badass.
That's right. He's lined up against Sue, who ain't going to give you no break.
No break.
And he's lining up against Jordan Phillips,
who's been called out.
Who they've been saying, hey, you need to start playing.
Right.
You need to start playing better every play.
You
need to be consistent every play. So he's been getting a big dose of two very good guys coming after him. So, welcome to the NFL. It's funny. I always see when I see these rookies, and I go back, I remember we were doing a show, and we had the kid from Miami, Eric Winston. And Eric ended up getting drafted in the 3rd round or something.
Right.
I don't think he even suited his rookie. I think he was on the practice squad his rookie year or didn't suit up or whatever. And I remember sitting there doing an interview with him. He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do this." And I'm thinking to myself, well, you wait. When you step out there and you line up, you put that hand in the dirt, you're going to find out real quickly this isn't the University of Miami anymore.
Right. You're playing against guys that can seriously play. There's no weak links in this league.
No weak links at all. So, it's it takes a while for these guys to get it. And Anthony Giondi, heard Harris has been the beast of OTA so far. Yeah, I would say he has been everything that was advertised by this staff when they went out and picked him with their first pick in the draft.
I agree. And Bo, I just want everybody, because everybody's in, hey, is he going to start? Is he going to start?
Yeah.
So, listen, I don't know if he's going to start, but he's going to be in the rotation playing a lot
of
football. And I expect him to be meeting with the quarterback a lot every game as they rotate these guys and keep them fresh.
Yeah. He whether he starts or not, he's going to get his share of plays.
Get a lot of snaps.
There's no question about that. King Edlin, how's the nickel group looking? Well, there've been a lot of nickel out there because they're not doing no run. They're not run the ball very much. So a lot of nickel stuff out there.
I think you'll agree. You feel good about the cornerback position.
I feel great about the cornerback position.
Wow.
I feel great about it.
Tankersley with all those guys.
Tankersley's great. Lippett's been playing good football out there for him. You got Byron Maxwell, who's got a year under his belt. You got Xavier Howard coming back. You got Bobby McCain that's working on his game. Tony. It's from
you get Tankersley in there with that group.
You remember how concerned last year at this time we were going in, oh my God,
question.
What about the linebackers? What about the secondary? Because there are some gaping holes in those positions last year going in. And right now, I think I can't be more happy than with the situation at the safety position or in the secondary, the defensive backs, and you look at the linebackers gotten a lot better over the course of this offseason.
I think 1 through 4. I think Tankersley's going to get some playing time.
I think so too.
Bo, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I know it's early in OTAs. But from what he's done in college against some really good receivers in big games, I don't think the moment's going to be too big. I don't think he's just going to be running down on special teams. I think he's going to get some playing time as the season goes on.
He looks way too comfortable out there to me. He runs fast. He gets himself in position. He keeps that low base. He's able to get turned.
Been well coached at Clemson.
Yeah, very good. So, I'm very happy with that. Periscope, any word on TJ McDonald getting his suspension reduced? I don't know if he's lobbying to get it reduced. I don't know if he's put in a request to get it reduced. I don't know what that situation is. All I know is as of now, he's out for 8 games, and then he comes back and plays, and that's really all.
You gotta love that fan though. If I'm with you. We can get this thing back to
4 games,
4 or 6. Come on, catch the commissioner on a good day.
Anything less than 8 is going to be a good thing for him.
Yeah.
And I tell you, he's a guy that I'm very, very excited about seeing out there.
That's a nice little pickup for this team.
Yeah.
And even though it's going to be most likely second half of the year, but like you said, Bo, getting somebody when you're all banged up in the second half and you got that guy coming in.
Yep. No doubt.
Good stuff.
Matt calls. Joe, what do you think of the tight ends? Have you had the chance to look? I can tell you this Julius Thomas, he's a big man out there.
He is a big man.
Big body.
It's going to take timing. The timing with he and Ryan's not where it needs to be yet. That's the biggest thing. Ryan's been throwing a lot with the other guys. The receivers 1 through 4, he's been throwing a lot with this last couple of months. But the timing's not where for a guy that it looks like, if you watch the way they're using him in OTAs, Julius Thomas can be a big part of this offense.
Joe, let me ask you this. Some of the guys out there, Leonte Carew, the Thomas Duarte, some of the guys that rookies that were last year that you're looking for them to take another step. There was an article last week, Barry Jackson talking about, and I think Barry Jackson, I think Barry said, look, he needs to get better. And I think Pro Football Talk kind of spun it out of control a little bit that he may not make the roster or one of those kind of things. But he's certainly a guy that he needs to find a way between now and the season to get himself better. And I think Thomas Duarte is the same situation.
Leonte Carew, they jumped out. This group right now, that was one of their picks. They moved up to get him. They thought that big body guy was the guy that they really wanted. And I just hope, and I haven't really talked to him, I hope Leonte Carew put in a lot of work. And when a lot of people on vacation for 5 weeks, I hope Leonte Carew is somewhere close around here and keeps working hard, man. Because I think the fourth wide receiver position's big, and it's still his, unless he's just awful, Bo, or he's pouting.
Yeah, and you got Isaiah Ford, the kid they drafted, the last pick in the 7th round. He's going to get some opportunities.
Some free agent guys are going to get some chances. They got a lot of bodies in there. You look good in preseason to the point they go, we got to keep them somewhere. All of a sudden, this group won't care that you were a third-round pick.
You're trying to keep my boy David Fales, trying to keep an eye on the San Jose State guys. One thing I've noticed about the San Jose State guys over the last few years, Joe, they don't stick around very long.
Nice guys.
We had the long snapper last year that he was there for about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And then what do we have? We had a DB a couple years ago. He didn't last very long. So it'd be nice to get one of those guys to make the team. El Chapo and OTAs, who has the advantage, offense or defense? Well, at least the practice I saw, defense dominated in a big way. There was all the trash talking was coming out of the defensive side, going over to the offensive side of the football on that day.
Yeah, Gase, he loved that. That's the way OTAs wrapped up with the defense kicking butt and talking about it, and he loved it. Adam Gase loves that. He wants that confidence. So he got what he wanted. I'm surprised, except for pass protection. I really thought this group of receivers would have their way with the secondary. Of course, you got to have time.
You got to have time. But look, I mean, it tells you that I'm happy to see the secondary's
caught up to the wide receivers.
A lot different, a lot different out there than it was last year during the
most
OTAs.
Improved area on this team, Bo. Like you said, a year ago we were talking about we don't have corners, and now all of a sudden you're going, man, 1 through 4.
Not so bad.
Not bad at all. And the upside potentially, like the Xavier Howard upside. Yeah. Hell, Lippett.
Yeah,
look what he did. You thought he was going to play the way he did last year.
So a lot of questions about. So who has the advantage? I would say defense so far from what we've seen. What was I going to ask you something?
I'm not sure. You scared me, whatever it was.
D. Dalton, what is Harris' uni number this year? Number 90. They got more number 90 coming around the corner. Charles Harris.
Yeah, Charles Harris got number 90.
Yep.
Yeah, he wasn't going to mess with Cam's number.
No. At Tech 2141, do you guys coordinate your wardrobe before the show? No. Well, it's not a coordinator.
No.
Just a little green.
I haven't seen you.
I know. I haven't
had a chance.
You've been off in the Bahamas, man. You've been out running.
I'm in the Bahamas getting liquored up every night, man. Boy, that's fun. Next time I'm pulling you, you're going. If I go next year, you got.
No, I would go. Look, I was going to go this year, and then
I don't take the wife and do all that stuff.
Family came into town, and so.
No, that's important. That's good. You got your brother in town. That's good.
Had to kind of go around, show him around town, do this and that, and do that. But next year I'll go.
That water was beautiful over there. Yeah, man. Out on that water one day.
Yeah, I just see myself in the casino at 3
o'clock. Oh, that casino, 2, 3 in the morning. I saw some liquored up guys that on those out there playing blackjack, hitting it hard, man.
Hey, not saying any names. What about the rookies and everything they got? We did a deal last week with them where we kind of talked to them about experience and being in the league and the advantage of being in the league and how you can kind of piggyback off what you do during your career,
networking,
during next career, all that stuff. They've had them doing Habitat for Humanity. I saw them doing Habitat for Humanity out there, working on the house. Today they've got them down at the stadium, touring the stadium. I mean, these rookies are in town and they're practicing, but even when they're not practicing, man, they're keeping these guys, keeping these guys on their toes.
I think it's great that they had them practice in the afternoon. They had them out doing some stuff, some stuff for other people, getting involved in the community. I just think it's great. Give them an idea if you're on the team, if you make the team, whether you're a draft pick or a rookie free agent, here's kind of what's expected. Here's where you'll be playing. Here's the things we believe in as a team that we're getting involved with. It's pretty good.
Joe, I know what I was going to ask you. I was talking about the corners and stuff, trying to find that inside nickel guy. Well, what is it that inside nickel guy has to have that the outside corners don't have?
The biggest thing is for those guys on the outside, and why a lot of guys will tell you, a lot of the top corners will tell you, I don't want to play slot where a guy has a two-way go, plus he can run down the middle, and I'm responsible. I like having that sideline. I like jamming them, and I can get tight on them. If they get tight to the sideline, makes it a lot easier to cover them. I got help to the inside sometimes. A lot of guys, a lot of our corners will tell you, and good ones around the league, I'm not a slot corner, man. That's a special guy that can do that. You got to be quick. You always got to know where you got help. You can't forget. Sometimes things change. It's tough. It's a tough job.
And you don't have that out. There are a lot of times you don't have that advantage of trying to take away part of the field. I'm going to take a hard inside, advantage
you might have
on
both ways.
But you have a lot of
no help.
A lot of two-way goes. And I've been there before with a. I remember being there and trying to cover Joe Washington coming out of the backfield for the old Baltimore Colts.
You know how that is. That's a two-way go. It's not fair. Man. Not fair.
No, especially with someone like that.
I was thinking of Kirby and Tony Nathan and those guys. All those linebackers that caught themselves in certain situations one-on-one.
How about the Jets with Scott Durking and remember those?
Yeah.
They always seem to have one of those little guys like a Danny Woodhead, like a Wes Welker. The Jets always had one of those guys was tough to deal with.
And they're so smart now. Everybody gets isolated. They'll see a matchup and go, well, we know he can't cover. Let's get our pass receiving running back isolated one-on-one. Probably going to win.
Periscope question. Is this a make or break year for Jordan Phillips? I would say, I would say that he's got to improve. He's got to be a consistent player, and he can't take plays off because if not, then I think they're looking to move him out next year and move somebody in. It's just the nature of the beast.
Bo, he is point blank.
He's too good.
Being called out.
Yes.
Like you know what? You've got all this talent. We knew about it when we drafted you in the second round, your upside. We keep hearing about it. But you've had the same knock on you in college. You took plays off, you disappeared, and then you had dominant plays that stood out where everybody goes, oh my gosh, the upside of this guy is freakish to be that big and fast and strong. But I think Adam Gase and the coaches sat him down and said, enough's enough, man.
You got to do it all the time.
140 yards a game, 4.8 average, and you were a big part of why that number is where it was.
But you've seen the times where he's taken a guy and driven him 3 yards in the backfield.
When he's pissed off?
You've seen a guy do all the things that you want him to do as a defensive tackle and create commotion, create problems in there. And then 2 plays later, you see him and he's getting pushed down the field, like there's no problem.
Or he runs around, whether he's supposed to or not. It's part of the schemes. It just looks like a lot of times things are open, and he's been called out. I think he's got Bo of every player on this team. He's number one. He's been called out. It's open. The writers write about it. The coaches talk about it.
We talked about it a little earlier. He's not shying away from it. No, he knows it. He stood up in the podium in front of everyone and said, hey, look, it's on me. I know what I got to do. I've got to get better at it. And I've got to work. He said, I've already started. I'm trying to change my attitude and change everything. And I think that's great.
I got a follow-up for you as a guy that's had your weight go up and down and played next to a lot of guys that had it. He came in, he's 335 right now, 335 pounds, and he's going to play, he said, at 320. And when I heard he said he's going to play at 320, I took that he was told by the coaching staff, you need to get your weight so you can get in better shape so you don't take so many plays off. We think you need to lose 15. Can he do it? And Bo, he's got 5 weeks off. He's got to do it kind of on his own. That's not somebody in here barking at him every day about a nutritionist telling him, hey, you got to get on this, and this. Now you're on your own. Temptation Island, a lot of money to buy anything you want.
Yeah, that's a tough deal there. At Flyburn 1, Joe, who was your nightmare to play against?
Oh, gosh. I had one guy for the New England Patriots that just chewed me up in the slot. Was it Tippett or Lippett? Not Tippett was the linebacker.
Andre Tippett was the linebacker. Lippett was the guy.
Lippett was the nickel.
Wasn't he
I don't know if he's a UM guy or
I know you're talking about
Tennessee. I might as well just told him ahead of time the routes I was running because he ran. Played against him a couple of times, and I finally asked him one game after I ran a corner route, and he ran the corner route. He ran it better than I did, actually. Coach Shula goes, that's how you run it, Joe. He ran the corner route. That's how you run the corner. I mean, it was so embarrassing. There are some guys. Yeah. You probably find that too when you're playing. Like, geez, man. Were you in our huddle? Like, did I tell you I was going to do it? That was it.
All right, for Shizzy My Rizzy, who will be our biggest target in the red zone this season? Well, I was watching red zone the other day, and I'm sitting there going, man, you got a lot of choices there, man.
I'm going with the big body guys. Got two big body guys.
With the big tight end,
and Devontae Parker.
Devontae
Parker, I thought they got a lot better at it last year.
Yep.
That fade route in the corner from 5-6 yard line where you just throw it up in the corner. Devontae Parker's the most athletic guy you have. He's going up places the rest of us have never been.
Yeah.
Got to get it to him and get it down with your feet.
The other day, I didn't know if I don't know if he ran like one of the little arrow or if it was a fade route, but I caught the end of the route and they threw it to Anthony Fasano. So what is it? You got Anthony Fasano running a fade route over there.
Anthony, hey, don't forget about me, man.
I tell you, I feel really good about the red zone this year. I just think with the weapons they've got, you had that big tight end in the middle there with those weapons they've got, and feel pretty good about it.
And the thing that's not sexy that nobody wants to hear about, Anthony Fasano can flat out block, and he's really going to help this running game and bouncing outside and the blocks he can do on the outside guys. He's going to be a big asset for this team.
At Diana Faye Me, give her a shout out. She's a big fan. Diana, how you doing?
Hi, Diana. Thank you.
Big fans of yours, just so you know. Just so you know.
Talk to everybody here.
Everybody. Just talk to them like they're sitting right next to you. How's it going today?
Things good. I hope you have a great weekend.
Yes. Enjoy your
weekend. Stay out of trouble.
Periscope question. You see a bigger workload for Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake, he's going to be an interesting guy. I like Kenyon a lot. Another well-spoken guy, smart guy, good guy. And I did an event with him a few weeks ago, Joe, and I couldn't stop looking at his arms. This guy's busting.
I saw him at the draft.
Busting out of his shirt, and I'm going, oh my goodness. This guy's been in the weight room hitting it pretty hard here.
They want all these guys ready. They're trying, he and Damian, like, hey man, don't look at yourself as a 2 and 3 backs. Yeah. A lot of guys get hurt. The J train is awesome, but you got to be ready to go. But I think Drake's got that different gear that they really like, Bo. I think like that run he had against Buffalo, breaks the other way and goes down the sideline. Nobody can catch him.
Yeah.
He might be the fastest guy we have on this offense.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing in Kenny Stills in there too. He can run.
My man Steve Toll chiming in with a text.
How's Steve doing?
Steve's doing good. He was on the show out here. I'm going to give it to you here. Let me get to it. Because he brings out one guy here. Bo, I hope you remember Gary Petts, offensive lineman for the Jets. I would ask you to check the back of his helmet to see if his head size was size 8. He had the biggest head, Joe. Gary Petts. I remember the first time I ever played against him. When the first time you play against someone, you come off the field, and you go, hey, this guy does this and that. I came off the field, I go, man, you see the size of that guy's head? His head was so big that his mask was almost pushed up against his nose. It was like stuffed in. I think his ears were coming out of the ear hole and stuff. Gary Petts, and he was horrible. It got to the point where I remember between me, Bob Baumhauer, and Doug Betters, we were like taking numbers to see if we could play against Gary Petts.
Get him over there before they took him out of the game. You know who else I was thinking about? Now you got me thinking about helmet smash faces. Jim Plunkett's all time.
Jim was stuffed in there too.
They'd either had a shortage of big helmets out in Oakland, but he was stuffed in there.
He looked that same way at Stanford. When he was at Stanford. He looked like a 10-pound London broil stuffed into a 5-pound bag. Yeah, that's what he looked like.
That was, that didn't fit. That did not fit.
One last question, then we go. Trey Bay, would you guys like to play for Coach Gase? I would love to play for Coach Gase.
Oh,
I would absolutely love to play for Coach Gase.
Love him. Yeah. He gets it. He knows what's going on. He knows the knuckleheads. Yeah. He's good. He'd be fine. He's got a little old school in him.
He's got old school in him. He's got discipline in him. But he's also got that player coach. He'll take a jab at you. He'll have fun with you. I just, I'm for all of the coaches we've gone through since Coach Shula left, there's no question in mind that this guy is the best guy we've had.
Not even close.
And I'm talking Jimmy Johnson. And I'm talking Dave Wannstedt. And I'm talking Nick Saban. I'm talking
young, motivated guy.
I'm talking at this level. I'm not talking about at the college level. I'm talking at the NFL level. Very, very happy with where he's at.
And you know something else? He doesn't just coach. I think he got pretty involved in the other stuff too in the offseason. No. He's not just, hey, give me the players and I'm just gonna let me know and I'll coach. I mean,
no.
He wanted to make sure the right kind of guys, and I think he signs off on everything, too.
I think he signs off on everything. I don't think that, I was a little concerned at first. I've told the story before that when I first met him, he talked about play calling and challenging the defensive coordinators and having that mind game with him. I said, well, that's great, but, there's a lot more you got to do as a head coach. And then not long after that, talking to go, oh, no, this guy's not missing. He's not missing anything. He knows everything that's going on in that building, away from that building, and he's
well, he's going to be involved. I think heavily in the defense to make sure
that it
there's
gets
some things that need to be fixed, and he's going to make sure
he may be sticking his head in that meeting room every now and then, and just letting people know that he's keeping an eye on it. Old logo not coming back. Give you a couple more years. I'm goddamn tired of hearing about the old logo.
Did you get a logo?
Huh?
Did you get a logo in there?
Well, it's been going on. And we get anybody chime in on the logo today? On the questions? Yeah. It's never ending. It's never ending, these people.
Everybody gets wrapped up in color of uniforms and stuff. I just like them to play well. I don't care what uniform it is, just play well. Win games.
Just don't wear those stupid orange uniforms that they wore up
that Thursday night
Cincinnati.
Uniform.
That was an embarrassment, man.
How are you supposed to be tough wearing that thing?
How do you be? That's like the old. They look like the old Tampa Bay Bucks when John McKay was coaching.
That was bad. I think we all saw those guys when they ran out, and we went, "Ooh,
oh, really?
Oh, that's bad. Who came up with that color?"
I think Jeff Griffin came up with that. I think it was Jeff that came.
I think Jeff was behind that.
Jeff was behind that.
One of the big timers here in the organization.
He stuck his 2 cents out there.
Because we're wearing it, and it's going to work.
He stuck his 2 cents out there, and then they just puked all over the ground with those ugly uniforms. All right, Joe, that's going to do it for this Friday. We're going to be back on Monday. We'll give you more of what's going on around here with the Miami Dolphins. Just catch up with the Audible. Catch us on Periscope. You can catch us on a delayed broadcast on the Miami Dolphins Facebook page as well as MiamiDolphins.com. Joe's got to go get some alcohol. I got to go get some dinner. Those guys got to go home. You don't got to go home, but you can't see us anymore. We're gone.